Like you're saying everyone has the same 24 hours. No, we don't. Anyone that's ever lived really knows that when you're a teenager, you have so much more time. I've left this video for a week just so that the comments can accumulate and I can see what people's viewpoints are. When I was making this video, if you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, it's the video about how you can accumulate time on the TT bikes without being on the bike. Now, I knew that it was going to be a bit controversial. It was sort of funny because there's different comments. There's comments from people who are annoyed that the hack was publicized. There's people who are annoyed that people are doing this. And then there's people who are annoyed who don't give a crap. They just want to say that they're annoyed that people are talking about this. So let's get into the comments. Let's get cracking. So I'll start from the oldest comments first. They're the commentators that have been subscribed to my channel the longest. Fast fire, gamers gonna game, which is very true. Marcio said thanks. Now, EMBR, as noted, performance game for time spent on the platform has been in Zwift since the Tron, or since better bikes and wheels existed. We didn't neutralise the Tron or better disc wheels or frames in most races for the advantage they give outside of elite racing. For money, I don't really get the point of neutralising the bikes. Why bother having them if not for racing? Go faster on a group ride, which is fair enough. Now, that's a valid argument. I don't want to see all events neutralised. Certainly want to see some events where you can choose a certain bike. So, yeah, I get that. And it's like steering, as EMBR says, there are events that do have steering and there are events that don't. Now, if you don't have steering, yeah, it's a bit of a disadvantage in those events. A bit like if the bike's opened up to performance, then if you've got a Zwift carbon frame, then you're a bit of disadvantage as well. So Steak and Chains, great video. Thanks, Steak and Chains. He was on the podcast, actually, the day that I probably published this, or the day before I published this, on the Zwifty Zwift chat. Gary Black portal. So I mentioned the portal in the video. The portal is where, well, there's two portals. You got the portal climbs where you can climb the climb of the week or the climb of the month. I don't do climbs. But Gary, there's also the portal where you can join a pace partner. The hack that I was talking about was another option where you can also, so there was 3 different portals. So you can join a pace partner or you can join a friend. Now, what people have been doing is they've been joining friends that are on top of the Alp and then getting the 3 kilometers down, which has been a thing since forever. If you've watched some of GP Lama's old videos where he climbs the Alp, there's hundreds of people joining those descent parties. It's been a part of Zwift since forever and how people have been building up their stats. Now, of course, back then we didn't have the easy way to upgrade a bike by simply sitting at the side of the road, but we have, but we've got kilometers now. So people are actually using this portal hack to get kilometers on a bike, which to me, again, it's probably another level up from just sitting on your bike getting minutes compared to actually getting the kilometers, but some people probably disagree. But moving on. Thank God I already upgraded all my TT bikes before people started making videos like this from Mitch Thomas. I don't want to pronounce your last name because I'm going to get it wrong. But yes, this is a common thing I've had from people, is that they're a bit worried that when I release this information, this will be stopped. Or the other people who feel pissed off that they've lost their advantage. Ocky Man John said, nice. Eventually people will complain. Look at the uproar about coffee stops. People forget it's a game. Yes, a lot of people are doing the Zwift games and they're actually joining and not riding, which is the opposite of what people complain about in the Zwift spin. Did I say Zwift games? I mean Zwift spin, where you can late join and really annoy those who will put the effort in for the first half an hour. And Franny says, too bad this doesn't work with kilometers. Yes. That's probably just as well, Franny. And they're also, so Mumblecake, there are 2 competing paradigms. I don't know how to pronounce that. Paradigms. Anyway, there are 2 competing things at work, in my opinion. Everyone should be on a level playing field, regardless of time and money available. Outside, you'll get a huge advantage if you have $20,000 spare cash and you can get the best of the best. That's very true. Zwift and gone down the road of being a textbook MMO where you have to do the daily grind to stay relevant and Let me just click read more. And have access to the latest gear. While not a performance impact, the worst of this gamification comes with a big spin, in my opinion. Gotcha wheels are the worst. Gotcha wheels. You also touched on the pay-to-win aspect of steering, of course. And then Peter's like, yeah, I'm not a fan of this. The whole feature is for the benefit of Zwift, not the user. It feels like it's just designed to discourage people from trying other platforms. Exactly. I've been riding Training Peaks Virtual Grand Tour this week. And trust me, I've been logging into Zwift every single time so I can get my kilometers on the SL8. So I've been riding on Training Peaks while also lucky I've got pedals on my bike, so I can use the pedals for Zwift. This is the only time that I think you should be using pedals on Zwift. Okay, don't at me. Then Marcus, those that ride their bike a lot aren't at the same playing field as those who don't. Fitness-wise, why can't same apply to Zwift upgrades? You get what you put into it. It's not like they cost you extra money. The argument, though, is, Marcus, is, as people are saying, if I'm riding on Indy Velo or Grand Training Peaks Virtual, I'm missing out on getting those upgrades, but I'm still getting fit. And same people outdoors. If you're riding outdoors, you're missing out on getting the upgrades. So, yeah, I disagree with that argument. It's locking people into the platform to upgrade their bike, which people who do the platform the whole time will love because of the fact they can get the grind. And Mumblecake makes that point, riding your bike on Zwift. And then I think it's Drew Buffington. This isn't outside firstly. Not sure why some people feel they need to compare like it's apples to apples. I think it's great that people can have turn time and effort into performance gains. I think can have their time turn into effort performance gains. It's true, Andrew, but the whole argument is that if you grind away on Zwift and get fitter, then that's where your upgrade's coming. But surely you can see the point that if people are using other platforms, MyWhoosh, Training Peaks Virtual, they're doing Trainer Road and doing on the Trainer Road exercise, getting fitter, rather than just grinding away on Zwift, doing Coco rides, joining people going down hills for easy kilometers. There is no cut and dry with this. Obviously, if you're sitting on the couch getting the 3 kilometers, yeah, that's different than this. But this is not so much about using the cheat. It's about the fact that the new upgrade package is designed for people to be on Zwift. You do kilometers. Doesn't matter how you get that kilometer. You might be doing a workout where you're doing HIIT intervals. But if you're doing that alone versus someone riding with Coco, they're getting such easy kilometers. So I disagree with that argument that those that do the kilometers on Zwift to get these upgrades are worthy compared to other people. Is it a straw man? Is it straw man? I don't know. Is that what the argument is? So, yeah, I disagree with that. Now, Ben, who Zwift Insider sometimes confuses me with because we're both fairly similar in terms of we're both beasts. No. So Ben says, a very fair enough opinion. I'm like you. I don't want any advantages that the others don't have. You know, right? There's someone that struggles to get to level 40 on Zwift because they don't use it so much. Will have more problems with upgrades now. Everyone will eventually get all the bikes they need like before. It's just like a few months. It's just for a few months, even until the end of the winter, if people are riding outside, that the status quo of equipment will be different. I wonder if your hack will blow up. Well, I don't know if it's my hack, but people are doing it regardless of watching my video because WTO has their TTT World Championship, and I doubt most of the riders competing upgraded a Cadex to level 3 yet. I didn't see any announcements about neutralized TT bikes, only for ZRL. It's also known what the speed of the old school pedal-loaded TT bike is, which makes you wonder. So there has, since Ben did say this, there has been data which shows that it's no use. Like, I'm kind of glad about it, but the TT bike, Pinarello Halo bike, is just an old school TT bike. It's not going to be faster than the Cadex. And thanks for the well wishes, Ben. Ben's been following this channel for a while, so he understands that what was happening last year with my family. And so I won't go to that, but if anyone watches my channel, they'll see that I had a baby last year. There's a few complications for his birth. Now, Jay Buzzer, not sure what the problem is. Every game is like this for upgrades, and even in pro cycling, some riders have better equipment than others. For example, I remember Alex Dowsett saying how bad the Factor TT bike was. Good point. Like if you're riding for Ribble versus riding for one of the top teams like Pogicar, you don't get the equipment. But the deciding factor on that is not some simple to fix, easy thing which is electronic. Like Zwift has the ability to give every single person in the entire universe of Watopia the best bike. They are gamifying so that you spend time on Zwift to get the best bike. So outdoors, if the lower teams could give the best bikes to their riders, they would. Same thing with outdoor riders. If everyone could afford $25,000 to get the best equipment, then you'd have a lot more TTers racing. So yes, it's true that there's always been an issue with equipment, but this is online racing, virtual racing. You don't play Formula One. Like if I play F1 2025, what it is, I'm not limited to a Toyota Corona. I get a bloody good F1 car. I don't need to work my way from a Toyota Corona. Well, Corona, if those people don't know, Toyota Corona is like a very, very old car before even the Toyota Corolla. Or maybe I'll use a Toyota Corolla as the advantage, as an example. I don't start with a Toyota Corolla and then go to an F1 car. Other games they do, yes, but it's not because there's an issue with trying to provide all the bikes to the people in game. I've probably gone on about this point far too much, but that's my point. And Andrews, again, I think it's great that we can dedicate time and receive performance through earned gear. I think adding another domain makes the game so much better. And at least elite racers, all the equipment's neutralized, which I think is a mistake. I'd much rather see that locked, add some brain thought into courses and maybe beat stronger riders with smarter bike choice. I often see people who use Zwift as a training tool exclusively get so worked up about this stuff, and I don't understand why. Likely it's the same people who get upset when they are passed on the bike trail on the 18,000 TT bike. Just let us gamers game, train to your numbers and leave your egos outside. And then Justin says, or Just Browsing says, disagree, but ultimately it would be up to the organiser to decide which rules to apply to their events. Sten Kandaru, agreed. And Bads, I'm not ever going to say it. Bads says, I do like some races where you can use all the bikes like the Zwift games. Makes you showcase unique unlocks as well. But on the other hand, I get what you're saying. Now, Andrew raises a good point in terms of sometimes it's fun to be able to make the smarter bike choice to make the difference. So I know people talk about, okay, actually I'll probably get to that comment later on, so I'll wait till I get to that comment. But Zwift did a major mistake when they decreased the rolling resistance for gravel. That completely threw out the window an option to be a smarter gamer on Zwift, which was to use the gravel bike or mountain bike through the jungle or other gravel sections. Now, when they decreased the rolling resistance, it made that advantage or the tipping point not worthwhile. So to me, like using, I've done that video where you've got an aero bike versus a lightweight bike and you're drafting on the flat. The difference is so minimal really that unless you're doing a TTT or a TT, that your gamecraft in the draft is going to make a far bigger impact than the bike choice. I've won races with the steel bike. I actually accidentally had the steel bike before the race, and of course you join the pan, you don't really see what bike you're on because you've got dozens of other riders around you. And so I realised I'm on the steel bike during the race, but I still won the race. I probably would have won the race with a better bike, but it didn't prevent me from winning the race. So there's the difference between a lot of the bikes isn't great enough to actually impact a lot of results unless you're doing ZRL and you're doing a sprint segment where you're going down a hill and aerodynamics is so damn important that 0.01 of a second, 0.05 of a second, zero point 0.1 of a second can be the difference between getting number one position and not getting any points at all. So that's that. Let's move on to the next comment. HB Media, it's a moral hack. But morals, yes, but morals are something that's personal, isn't it? Everyone has their own morals. So let's just move on for that. Eric Barnett, been smashing out the videos and training recently. Great video, Ben. I don't like hacks that add training time or distance to Strava, as I want to reflect the work I do. So this one passes that test. As for ethical considerations on all the upgrades and whatnot, nobody's coming to the in real life group ride and making sure that we all have the newest road bikes. Yet the nail on the head when you said people concerned about that can choose races that neutralise the bike. Maybe Zwift will close the loophole, but there's many more of them out there. That's true. The anger about this is, I can see where it comes from, but at the same time, getting upgrades on your bike, like getting a wax chain, that's such a minuscule benefit to people that, yeah, it's, as people are saying previously, that the biggest upgrade is actually you riding the bike. So, but I can touch on that another time maybe. Great loophole, going to use this right now, says Bads. He was in the other comment too, wasn't he? Which, yeah, let's move on. Zwifting with Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter, my guy is sitting on the side of the French road while I'm getting ready to work on my next novel. By the time I call it quits on writing, I should have accumulated a couple of hours twiddling my thumbs in the French countryside. Now, this is one of those ones where it's got an AI response. I think I have a little nap instead of working. That's a bit random. I'm not sure what to do with all this extra time. Maybe try a new route. Those AI responses are terrible. Now this is, I think I've hit most of them. So now these are the newer ones that I haven't read yet. Just because you got the fastest bike doesn't make you any faster. Well, kind of does. That's why people are getting cranky. Maybe you're saying okay. Just because you got the fast bike doesn't make you any faster. Yeah, okay, yeah, true. It's kind of obvious. In fact, it makes you look quite lame being in one of the fastest bikes and being crushed by someone on a BMX. So know what you're doing is fine. Now, this is Jeremy Kemp. Now, Jeremy, are you racing the BMX in the neutralised races and thinking that you're beating people on a BMX because you're stronger than them? I suspect that's what it is. So, yeah, if you're racing the neutralised bikes event on the BMX and being proud that you're smashing everyone, you might be in for a bit of a shock when you go to the non-neutralised events. And if you are crushing someone on a BMX and they're not in the non-neutralised events, I don't think you're really racing against them. That's the important thing, is you're supposed to be racing yourself. If you want to choose a BMX and make it harder for yourself, that's up to you. You're quite happy to do that. But I don't think there's going to be a case where I cry if someone beats me riding a BMX. They're obviously far stronger than me, and there's no shame in losing to them. Dude, this is obviously cheating. The whole point is that you need to ride to upgrade. That's from Eloyenzola. I hope I pronounced that sort of right. Obviously cheating. The whole point is you need to ride to upgrade. Well, I've been getting fit on Zwift. I got extremely fit on Zwift without thinking about upgrading the bike. There was never a point where I thought, I'm going to ride on Zwift to get upgraded bike, not because I wanted to get fit. I got fit on level 50 when there was no more things to get. I've got so many drops I don't need to use them. I've got so much XP I don't need to use it. I got fit regardless. So for me, getting the upgrade isn't about getting fit. It's just about the fact that there's these things it's just the fact that it's there. I'll still ride regardless. So, okay, next one. Rep Mort Scout. God, you guys give me such hard names. Can you just put easy names in your YouTube titles? I think Poggy is 100% pay to win. All that expensive equipment, trainers, coaches, nutrition, massages. He doesn't have a job, so he can spend more time on cycling than me. The whole UA team is pay to win. They should neutralise all in-race races and forbid support teams. I think there's being a little bit sarcastic, that comment. We'll move on to the next one. Do you suddenly find your golf ball in the rough? Do you send off for the last football sticker, 50 football stickers to compete in your album? I've got no idea what that is. Why not just earn the bike? Isn't the whole point of playing? Well, I've responded to that, so I'm not sure it's the best analogy, because cheating at golf would not be like, this is not kicking the ball out of the rough cheating of golf. Okay, so cheating at golf would be not like putting your weight correctly in Zwift, 2 or 3 kilograms, 10 kilograms like some people do. Getting the better equipment sitting on the side of the road is more like waiting for the good golf clubs on sale. This is what I've written. Because if you're playing golf in real life, you can have better golf clubs than someone else, and you don't get pissed off at them if they manage to buy those golf clubs for far less money than you. And good golf clubs makes a big difference. You don't see people playing with wooden drivers anymore. You see it playing with advanced drivers, graphite shafts that cost, can buy $1,000 driver, and that's going to be a far better driver than a $100 driver. Yes, a crap golfer playing with that $1,000 driver is not going to beat a really good golfer using the $100 driver, but I guarantee you that really good golfer is not playing with a $100 driver. So, no, when I used to play golf a lot. We didn't all stand around and complain that someone spent less money and worked less effort to get their good equipment. We just admired their skills. Now, really simple, if you're accumulating stats while not actually riding, it's cheating. All the other situations I mentioned were for someone actually riding. At least this only works for time-based bikes. Okay, now this is probably something that... All right, so what's the AI say? So the AI says, I think you're right, this is a fun little loophole, and I don't know that I'd use it outside the boundaries of the video. I'm not sure that's a sort of accurate response. And the other ones, I think all Zwifters know that the best way to get a bike is to ride it and unlock it. Yeah, that's an obvious thing, AI. But if you're accumulating stats while not actually riding, it's cheating. It's in the game. So imagine if you're in Zwift, okay? You're actually producing Zwift. So let's do a little role play here. Hey boss, we're getting a lot of complaints about people using the hack. What should we do? Why should we do anything? This is exactly why we put it in the game. We've got distance, we've got meters gained, and then we've got time. Now, the reason we put the time in is because we want to shake it up. And look at how many people are talking about Zwift now. My Wish had a big update, and not a single person is talking about My Wish. They're all talking about sitting on the side of the road with your TT bike. This is a win-win situation. Why would we change anything? We don't care about TT riders. TT riders, they live under a bridge. They eat out of the bin to try and save money for the newest, greatest 3D printed part. Okay, that 3D printed part, that last bit was probably a little bit uncalled for. You TT riders, you're fantastic. Like and subscribe. If it is deemed cheating, then it's up to Zwift to decide that it's cheating and to ban people. Okay, but there are a lot of bigger issues in the world. Okay, and then Luke, Virtual Gamer UK, I agree with you, mate. I worked so hard to get the Tron I did in the 3 months and it killed myself. Now it's almost for nothing. A lot of bums on there all day riding now, non-stop. How is it fair now that you get to start all over again to upgrade? Why can't you just spend your hard-earned drops you have saved over these years or months? So this is perfect example. So Darren Boyd about this is cheating. I've been on Zwift for a long time. I accumulated a lot of drops, a lot of money. And at that time, I couldn't spend it. I can't do anything. I couldn't accumulate anything for it. I was at level 50 for a long time, accumulating nothing. So why should you get pissed off at me for the fact that I could not use what I was accumulating then towards the upgrades now? Okay? This is why it's ridiculous to argue that people are cheating. I've already put the hours in. I've already become an A+ rider. I'm now dropped down because of different situations. But I have not, but you can't say to me that I put no effort into this game and getting that bike. I put in so much effort that why are you to say, no, you don't deserve to have an upgraded TT bike? Where are you coming from to be able to say that? Okay, that's probably harsh enough. Let's go. Zeke Rider says, not cool. Let's move on. Do you even know what the actual distance between the upgrade levels is? As in, how big is the difference? Now, Eric's Zwift HQinsider released all that information. So we can move on from that. Now, is there any more comments? Where's my mouse? It certainly seems like we came up with a good upgrade in this one. It's insane the amount of interest chatting about this update. But I'm super interested in every second I can save. I did pronounce that. Super interested in every second I can save. I'd certainly like to see everyone gain the upgrades based on time they actually ride, but I know the gamification of Zwift shouldn't expect that. I don't know. I say to each their own, as long as they aren't running races, but knowingly using trainers that overread or pedal assist devices. That's a good point. That last one is, there's a big difference between doing this to upgrade your bike and actually cheating in competition. Yes, having this bike will give you an advantage, but you're still putting out the watts. You're still being legitimate. It's not like doing this, accumulating this time sitting on the side of the road is taking away from your actual effort in a race. Now, what does the AI say? It's interesting with Zwift being so results focused, but yes, no one's getting hurt by, I don't want to click on the rest. What does it happen? By someone else's equipment. And I know what you meant. I'd rather see everyone have a chance to earn a bike as well. Maybe I'll see if they'd be up for a new update. That's a very difficult sentence to say. Okay. Now, also at the beginning of that sentence, David said it's a great upgrade. Everyone's talking about it. That's what I was saying before about the time spent on the side of the road. Zwift don't care. Zwift are happy for people to be there's time they're not spending on the bike. So people who have been sitting on the side of the road accumulating time, then jump on the bike and go and do their ride as per usual. They're not going, okay, I'm not riding today because I've already sat on the side of the road with my bike. That's not what's happening here. So it's a win-win situation for Zwift. It's a game it or ride for reality, you choose. Exactly. This is from Marshall Oram, I think. Exactly. Like if this pisses you off so much, you can vote with your feet. Go and ride something else. You can go ride outdoors if you're not in the Elite Series, because if you're in the Elite Series, this doesn't make a difference. Everyone's riding a neutral bike. And this pisses you off so much, go and ride on Training Peaks Virtual. Go and ride on My Wish. Vote with your feet. Let Zwift know by just cancelling a subscription. Power to you and good for Zwift that there are users who look for and are able to identify these loopholes. This is from Martin Mann. I'll keep focusing on the training and accumulating the distance, time, elevation. That way, no issue with whatever side of the fence you're on, ride on. And that's the crux of it. If I was the only one who knew about this hack, then yeah, I would just keep it to myself. The issue was that every Discord team chat secretly knew about this, keeping it quiet so that other people didn't know about it. But the thing is, I'd classify that as an unfair advantage if it's not general knowledge. So putting it out there, okay, not many people did watch the video, but me chatting about it means that potentially other people are saying, okay, I can do this as well. I don't want to be a disadvantage. So that's the reason why I put the video out, was the fact that let people know you can do this, because you'll be racing against people who can do the same. I can see why people get pissed off that others are doing it, but it's up to them to decide whether they want to use the hack or not. This is only good for TD bikes and who cares, or I missed something from Scott in Man Marine's survey, or is it Scott the It? Scott He It Man Marine 7. You got a very difficult name, Scott. It is only for the TT bikes. Now, if you're aiming to upgrade the Tron, so you got to upgrade your Zwift TT bike and then 2 other Zwift bikes, then yeah, it does quicken the process of a very long, slow process to upgrade the Tron. But the reality is, people are going to be upgrading the SL8 or other road bikes because they're the ones that they're going to be racing with. So if you're not a TT rider, then this upgrade, it doesn't affect you at all. It's probably the reason why Zwift decided that for time-based upgrades, it'll be the TT bikes, because most of the riding on Zwift is on road bikes. So this is a very long one, this one. You've written a lot, Matt. The mental gymnastics you're all going through to make yourselves comfortable with what is obviously cheating to anyone with a moral compass are really impressive. If you're cheating the system and your fellow riders, then you're a cheater. It's that simple. When you create resources for yourself out of thin air, like in this hack, then you're cheating. It's just a game, yes. Games are where cheating happens. Skirting the rules, loopholes, just coded language to try and make you comfortable with being a cheater. I don't have time, so it's not fair to me. We'll all have the same 24 hours. You choosing not to spend yours in a way that builds your capability and resources is not a justification for cheating. As Zwift doesn't stop it, then it's not cheating. You need your parents to tell you not to do the wrong thing too. Well, not everyone has the same 24 hours. If you watch massively multiplayer online gaming videos, there's a famous one where the scene is there's a high-level online player who's been grinding away at the game for years, doing everything they can to try and get the very best equipment, spending a lot of time in the game. And then they meet a new player. And this game has opened up pay to win. So this new player comes along and spends a lot of money, buys all the best equipment that this other player has been spending 3 years to try and grind towards. And this other player gets pissed off that this new player is able to get that equipment without truly worthy of it, because they haven't spent all this time grinding away in the game. But then the new player responds with, grinding in this game, I've been grinding in life to be able to pay for this equipment. I've been going to a full-time job. I've been looking after my kids or family or sick parents or whatever you want to insert. And you have the balls to tell me that I don't deserve this equipment because I haven't been grinding away at this pointless game for all these years. I've been accumulating my money instead, grinding away at life. So this is the same thing, I think, is this. Just because, like you're saying, everyone has the same 24 hours. No, we don't. But anyone who's ever lived knows there's a massive difference between being a teenager and being an adult. Being a teenager means, yes, you can go and spend as much time as you want playing this game. Being an adult means that you don't have that time, that luxury. Having to grind out all of this equipment on Zwift, it will take people a lot more time because they have other priorities. To say that someone doesn't get the equipment because they're not putting the effort in is what really gets my goat up. I've already put the time in previously to this. I was level 50. I don't know what your situation is, but I spent a lot of time stuck at level 50 getting nothing for all of my riding. Now, I don't care because I don't ride for equipment. I was riding for fun. I got fit because I was having fun. But to say people who were stuck on level 50 for years now don't deserve this equipment because they haven't been grinding is a false argument. So I'll leave it at that. Anyway, so on that kind of serious note, thanks for watching. I'm going to try and go on. I'm going to take my son for a walk to the park and enjoy the weekend, and hope everyone enjoys their weekend too, if I can manage to pump this video out before you people on the other side of the time zone, 12 hours behind me, can finish your weekend. All right. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I didn't piss off too many of the new subscribers. Like and subscribe, comment, this is robust discussion is important. I might change my views actually at some styles. I used to be very, 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 like, I have chilled in the last few years in regards to certain things. So you might find, I'm not a brick wall. I'm not a brick wall. You can still keep talking to me. All right. I better go. Enough rambling. Peace out.